Welcome, everybody. This is something that we do for our graduates, and it is thrilling to have you all join us. So if you are listening and you would like to comment in the chat, if you're a graduate, let us know where you are from. And this is really a momentous occasion. So I want to first start off by saying congratulations to our graduates and welcome to family, friends, supporters of FMCA who are tuning in via live stream. Wow. 10 years ago, we founded FMCA and we were having our first graduation. There was the class that started in the fall of 2015. And we had 19 graduates. I could not have imagined that we would now have grown so much and be live streaming our graduation ceremony. So you, as graduates, are part of that living legacy. So we have a very special program for you. Think back, you came to FMCA, different places, different paths, you all had different dreams, yet you shared the same calling to serve, to walk alongside others as they take charge of their health. And that's really no small thing because we're living, as you know, in a world where the healthcare system feels cold and impersonal, and your role will be profoundly personal. You are giving people the gift of being heard, supported, and empowered. So I want you to just pause for a moment and reflect. Think back to that first day you first logged into Canvas. Think about maybe the uncertainty that you experienced, your excitement. You maybe had the thought, can I really do this? And now look at you. The skills that you have gained, the confidence that you have built, the friendships that you have made. That is really true transformation. And your accomplishments are not just personal for you. They're going to have a ripple effect. They already have rippled outward. I get chills thinking about the thousands of lives that you will touch. Every client who lowers their blood sugar, every parent who models healthy habits for their kids, everyone who discovers hope because of your guidance and support. That is the true currency of success, impact. The opportunities for you as a health coach are greater than ever. So how will you fulfill your mission? Well, start by boldly sharing your story, because each of you has a unique story. Why did you choose this path? What obstacles have you overcome? What have you learned? So share your story far and wide on social media, to your friends, to your doctors, to your community, because it's through stories that we inspire action, and yours has a lot of power. Remember, though, you are not alone. FMCA is not just a program. It's a lifelong community. So you have your peers. They've got your back. We have your back. They're your allies in strength. So stay connected, support one another, celebrate one another, because together we know that we are so much stronger than when we attempt to go it alone. We are here for you through our alumni community. So the greatest gain for me over these past 10 years has been connection with all of you, our graduates. Every email, every message I see about your success, when I see something on social media, I say, yes, this is one of our graduates. That warms my heart. So please keep sharing these. I am here to cheer you on. So again, on behalf of the entire FMCA team, congratulations. You are now part of a decade-long story, and this is only the beginning. So go out there and make it shine. And now I want to introduce our very special guest. and keynote speaker who needs no introduction. He is somebody I have become friends with. He's a colleague. He teaches for us, and that is Johnny Bowden. Johnny, take it away.
There we go. I'm laughing because Sandy and I did not speak about what she was going to say or what I was going to say, but she just gave my speech, so I can pretty much speak right now. I only have 10 minutes. I have a lot to say. So I wanted to start by saying pretty much what you just heard, which is I am really, truly happy to be here, and I'm not blowing smoke when I say that. Coaches are my favorite audience to talk to. Now, why is that? Because you guys just spent, I don't know how much money on this course, but money, time, and psychic energy on a program that has exactly one purpose, and that is to make you better at helping other people, to make you better at transforming lives. Now, you could have spent that money, time, and psychic energy on a program that teaches you how to flip houses or get into real estate or make money quickly, but you didn't. You picked this. And so my congratulations is not just that you finished this program, but for who you are as people. And so congratulations to you for that, for being that person. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about why that matters so much in the coaching ecology. My history with functional medicine goes back to the 90s. I was a student of Jeffrey Bland, the great Jeffrey Bland, who at the time, this is pre-internet, if you subscribed to the Institute of Functional Medicine, you used to get a cassette every month from Jeffrey Bland. And on one side of the cassette was him talking about all the research that had been done in health that month. And the other side was interviews with different functional medicine doctors. That's how I first discovered Mark Hyman. That's how I first discovered Mehmet Oz, all through that. And I have to pinch myself sometimes to realize that I am now doing events with Jeffrey Bland, whose feet I sat at to learn all this stuff. And it's quite humbling and inspiring. So basically, there are 4 portals through which you can affect change in a person's life. Food, you change their diet, you make a big change. Movement, you change their ratio of sedentary to movement and how much they exercise and what kind of physical shape they're in, you're getting in there to change their lives. The third portal we do not spend nearly enough time on, and that is sleep and recovery. And it is more important than I could possibly say. I could do 2 hours on it, but just know that that's a huge part of how you can change people's lives. And the fourth one is the one I'm going to really speak about today. And it has to do with how everything is connected to everything else. And that is really the premise of functional medicine, how the adrenals talk to the thyroid. There is an entire science called psychoneuroimmunology that simply studies how what we think about affects our immune system. Psychoendocrinology talks about how what we think about affects our hormones. So it's all connected. And you're part of that connection. And that's the part I'm going to talk about, the fourth portal. And I want to introduce that fourth portal by telling you a little story. I used to teach a course called The Art and Science of Weight Loss Coaching. I taught it at Coach Training Alliance, taught it for several years. And I'd ask every single class the same question on the first session. When you're coaching, what is the purpose of the first session? What's most important to do in the first session? And I'd get answers that range from, well, you got to get a food diet. Well, you got to do a medical question. Well, you got to get the demographic. Well, you got blah, 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 blah. And almost nobody guessed the correct answer. So think about it for just a second before I give it to you. Just like, what would you answer? What's the purpose of the first session in coaching? Now I'm going to tell you. The purpose of the first session is to get a second session. Now think about that. You could have all the information in the world. You could be the guru of change. But if they don't come back the second time, you're not going to be able to do any of that, are you? So what do you do in that first session to make sure they come back? You create a bond. You connect. You start using we language from the beginning. Mrs. Jones, well, what we got to do here is we got to figure out why that's happening. We got to figure out what's going on with your thyroid. We got to figure out why you can't get on the treadmill. Whatever it is, it's a we. You immediately assume that bond and you work together. And that connection is what gets them to come back. Listen, here's a little secret. It's not a great secret. You got a lot of information. It's all available on the internet. Nobody comes back because of the information. They come back because they feel connected to you, the deliverer of that information. So if there's one thing I really want you to leave from this 5-10 minute talk, it's that you are the instrument of change. The coach is the instrument of change. Your reactions, your feelings, your humanity, your interests, all of that are unique to you. And they're not information-based, folks. It's not, I know a lot of coaches go into the field thinking, I don't know enough. It's not about how much you know. It's about who you are and how you deliver what you know. And believe me, you all know a lot more than you think you know. So when you develop yourselves, you are actually developing the instrument of change. And going back to that fourth portal, which is connection and relationships, I want to leave you with a story that I tell every one of my clients. I tell them at the end of the session. And I do a particular kind of coaching that's evolved over 20 years. This is what I do. I do one session strategy and planning. It's not like a continuous thing. So when I leave them with this is what they leave with. I tell them the story of what happened in Sardinia. There's a huge biohacking movement where people are trying to figure out how to live to 100. Peter Attia is at the head of this in a way, talking about medicine 3.0 and how we can all be kick-ass 100-year-olds and what does it take to be a kick-ass 100-year-old. And you have to work on stability and balance and training and strength and all this stuff. And he's got an Excel spreadsheet and they do ice baths to, help the adrenals respond to and be more resilient. So recently, some researchers decided to say, okay, that's a great goal, but why don't we look at some kick-ass 100-year-olds and kind of observe and see what they're doing? And maybe we can reverse engineer it. Like, what do they do? The people who have achieved this thing that we're all trying to achieve, how did they do it? What did they do it? And so they went to Sardinia. And Sardinia, one of the 5 blue zones, happens to have the largest population of healthy, functioning 100-year-old men in the world. Okay? So they go there to study. And they came back with 3 lessons. And you got to take these with a grain of salt. You got to apply them to our modern lives. But here are the 3 lessons. Number 3, this is important. Number 3 is live where there are lots of stairs. Now, if you've ever seen White Lotus season 3, which was shot in Sardinia, and you see those gorgeous mountains and hills, you cannot walk out of your house to get a quart of milk without walking 10,000 steps. So the 3rd lesson is constantly move. Just be in movement all the time. I don't think I sit more than 2 hours a day. I'm standing now. I'm standing at my standing desk. I talk on the phone, taking meetings, walking around in my garden. I mean, I move. That was the 3rd lesson. 2nd lesson, what do these guys do all day long? They're shepherds. So they go up into the hills, into the gorgeous mountains of Sardinia, where they're actually receiving information subconsciously about nature and harmony and balance and eternity and all this stuff that you kind of absorb in nature. And they're around sheep, which are the sweetest, most docile animals in the world. And they spend 8 hours a day doing that. So lesson number 2 was spend as much time as you can around docile, sweet animals, which can be translated 100 different ways. But it's basically be in parasympathetic mode as much as you can. Be in rest and relax much more than in fight or flight. And the number 1 lesson that they learned, and this is not just number 1, but this is number 1 with a bullet. This is the equivalent of when they say, what are the 3 most important things in real estate? And they go, location, location, and location. This was that. The number 1 lesson that was learned that predicted a long life, a healthy life, and a happy life was this: make family and friends your number 1 priority. Full stop, end of story. And it's not just that research that showed it. There's a study going on called the Happiness Study. It's in its 4th generation, started in 1936. They've been following people up at Harvard. They've been following people and looking at how they die and what they die of and how happy they are. And they measure it 100 different ways. And every single time, for 4 generations, the biggest predictor of long life, health, and happiness is family, friends, and connection. Okay? So I tell my clients at the end, they come in with all kinds of issues. They come in mostly for cholesterol, because I'm known for that. They come in, they want an interpretation of their cholesterol. They've got these risk factors. And I tell them, listen, You've got a health bank, and you can make withdrawals and you can make deposits. And yes, these risk factors are important. I wouldn't have a career if they weren't important. Of course, we want to change your particle number, and we want to bring down your blood pressure, and we want to, shorten, make your waist a little smaller and get you more metabolic. Of course we do. But that family and friends thing, I say to them almost always at the end of the session. So tell me more about your kids, or what do you do on weekends? And their faces light up. And they talk about their granddaughter or their wife of 40 years or their husband of 40 years or their lover, whatever it is, a person, a thing, an activity that they do, and their face lights up. And I go, you know that? That's the biggest deposit you can possibly make in your health bank. And sure, these risk factors, they're withdrawals. You got a high LP little a, yeah, it's a withdrawal. Sorry, we'll try to do something about that. But let's look at the deposit, because you are already making the biggest deposit in your health bank that you could possibly make. And it almost always brings tears to their eyes. So one last thing before I go is this: if you need a mantra to live by and to teach by, you gotta just pull it into 2 words. It's very simple. Be kind. Be kind to your clients, to your family, to your friends, to the planet, and most of all, to yourselves, because you deserve it. Thanks so much for listening.
Wow, thank you so much. That was so good and so inspiring. And I could not agree more. Those 3 things are so, so powerful. So thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
My honor and pleasure.
Supporter of FMCA and our faculty member. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thank you. So now it is my pleasure to introduce some graduates who have very inspiring words. First, we are going to hear from Michelle Papanicolo. Michelle, take it away.
Thank you, Dr.
Wearing red, look at
Sandi.
that.
Red, yay, it's the color. Thank you so much for having me. Well, I am delighted to be here to congratulate this graduating class of 2025. As Dr. Sandi introduced me, my name is Michelle Papanicolaou, and I'm a proud member of the class of 2021. And just over 4 years ago, I stood right where you are, and I can tell you today, you are stepping into something very powerful. You are literally standing on the shoulders of a growing profession that is alive and thriving. And that's not only in the United States, that's around the globe. So let me give you a quick FMCA history moment. You're now among 4,500 FMCA graduates. That's 4,500 people that are empowered to say, let's dig deeper, way deeper. Let's go to the root cause of coaching. Let's get to the heart of matter where real change can happen. And I'm going to also now give you some industry fireworks, because I am a number person and I love statistics. And before I dive into these statistics, let me just pause and tell you why I'm sharing these with you. Numbers might not capture the heart and soul of coaching, but they do capture the reality of the world that you're stepping into. And statistics also give us credibility. They show the growing demand for the world that we actually are living in, and they reassure our families that there is a sustainable career in coaching. They remind us that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. And so when I share these figures, it's not just data, really. It's really proof that your work matters and that there are opportunities expanding every single year. So here is what the landscape looks like according to several financial analysts. In the United States alone, there are about 127,000 health educators and community health workers. That's projected to grow to 144,000 by 2029. That's 13% growth in less than a decade. Hardly a shrinking market. Globally, the health coaching market hit 18.7 billion in 2024, and that's projected to balloon to nearly 30 billion by 2030. That is not a bubble, folks. That is a boom. Market.us valued the coaching market at 16.1 billion in 2023, and that is forecasted to double by 32.3 billion by 2033. So that is a CAGR rate of growth, 7.2%. You might be asking yourself, what in the world is a CAGR rate? That means compound annual growth rate. And it is a statistical standard used to predict robust and healthy vocational growth of any profession. So that is projected at 7.2%. That is a very healthy score. 24 Market Report projects sector growth from 15.5 billion in 2024 to 26.3 billion by 2032, and that is an 8% CAGR growth rate. So here's your real-time checkpoint. As of 2025, the market is already worth 22.02 billion, and that's growing nearly 9% every year. So the translation to that is, you're not walking into a rowboat, you are boarding a rocket ship. And that's really important because that is pointing toward your career landscape. So the question that everyone is probably asking you, I'm sure, and you may be asking yourself is, what are my opportunities in coaching? What do they actually look like? What kind of profession and career is this setting me up for? Well, here's the exciting news. The opportunities in functional medicine health coaching are wide, diverse, and expanding. You might find yourself partnering in functional medicine or integrative clinics alongside physicians, nurses, nutritionists, and other admin staff. You may find yourself supporting corporate wellness programs to boost employee morale and productivity. You could be collaborating with insurance companies, hospital systems, as health coaches get integrated into preventive care, and it's absolutely happening. We are getting integrated into preventive care. You could be designing digital health programs. That could be apps. It could be telehealth coaching platforms. You could be leading community-based programs, workshops, local health initiatives. Again, endless, limitless opportunity. You could work alongside universities and research institutions to help study and implement lifestyle interventions, or perhaps join a nonprofit or a global health organization, making functional medicine accessible to underserved communities. You could create your own practice. You could become an entrepreneur. Whether that's one-to-one coaching, group programs, retreats, writing books, executing podcasts, designing social media platforms, again, it is a wide field out there. And unlike startups, tech startups, you don't need a lot of venture capital to get started. What do you need? Empathy, curiosity, and maybe a good pair of fuzzy socks and a great blouse or a suit jacket. I myself am a coach at Dr. Mark Hyman's Ultra Wellness Center. I collaborate daily with functional medicine physicians, nutritionists, nurses, and other admin staff on behalf of our patients to help them implement lifestyle changes. What are these lifestyle changes? We help them make changes in the area of nutrition, exercise, meditation, sleep modulation, circadian rhythm balance, relationships, vocational change, the gamut of lifestyle changes. That's what I do. I also write blogs for our website. I am part of social media platforms. I also recently did a training in heart math meditation, so I am now implementing that into my health coaching, and I run groups. So my clients, who are my clients? That's some of what I do. Who are my clients? My clients are literally from everywhere, and this is what's so exciting to me, across cultures. Currently, I'm coaching a lawyer in Germany, a CEO in Mexico, young and middle-aged mothers in the United States and across Europe. I also have several teenagers I'm working with in the area of weight and nutrition and ADHD management. It is dynamic, it is fulfilling, and it is an ever-evolving space. And it's just one example of a career that you could create. So in closing, I want to leave you with 5 really nuggets of wisdom that I have learned over the last 4 years. And as I reflect on the last 4 years of my own coaching career, celebrating client victories, getting through all the craziness of Zoom and all the glitches it creates, becoming more of an expert on these platforms than I ever thought I would, this is what I want to leave you with. 4 nuggets. 1, lean into your quirkiness. This is your unique superpower. Whether it's ask yourself, what is my quirkiness? What is it that I do great? Lean into it. Whether it's sending gifts to clients between sessions, whether it's weaving affirmations into sessions, it could be crafting meditations prior to sessions. It could be reciting poetry, perhaps, to clients. Lean into it, figure it out. What is it that makes you individual as a coach, and really exercise it? Also, nurture compassion. Compassion isn't just empathy, but it does include empathy. It's actually empathy in action. It goes beyond empathy by having motivation to take helpful action. It involves awareness of another's distress with the desire to really help them alleviate it. Compassion means extending kindness and mercy, love to others, and a particular interest toward the vulnerable. It often shows up in coaching as gentleness, kindness, listening, and providing support in really meaningful ways. And as a coach, I have no doubt that you already have this to a degree, but you absolutely must, and you will need to exercise it like it's a muscle. You need to practice active compassion and get better at it. Believe me, I have throughout the last 4 years. It's going to be one of your anchors for coaching. Also, remain curious. Curious about your clients, their stories, and the science of change. Curiosity is what's going to transform your sessions from just a checklist to really seeing breakthrough. And then finally, this is one of my favorites. You gotta have grit. Gotta have grit. Angela Duckworth is a psychologist. She made this term popular when she did a TED Talk back in 2013. And she found that passion and perseverance is going to carry you when talent alone won't. Passion and perseverance, which she defines as a part of grit. So grit is having the perseverance day in and day out. When it's a good day, when it's not a good day. Grit is what sustains you through those roadblocks, and there will be roadblocks, uncertainties, and it propels you toward growth. Grit is like living life as a marathon, not a sprint. You need this quality as a coach. You really will need grit. And it's something, again, that you grow in and you can exercise. So, class of 2025, you are now crew members of this rocket ship, and it really is a rocket ship. Where it takes you is entirely up to you. Will you create change in your community? Ask yourself that question. Will you innovate the next big digital platform for wellness? Because there are many out there, but there are many to be iterated. Will you partner with doctors, nonprofits, schools, corporations? The possibilities are really limitless, and the demand is absolutely out there, and it's waiting. You now have been trained. You've been prepared, you have been empowered by FMCA, and now it's your turn to take this torch, light it, and carry it to the next level. Your future isn't just bright out there, it's really brilliant. So congratulations. I want to say a big thank you again to Dr. Sandi Scheinbaum and the entire administrative staff at FMCA. Sandi, for having the foresight and vision to create this platform of functional medicine training, bringing coaching to the world to renew hope through great health. Thank you. And again, congratulations, class of 2025.
Wow, thank you so much, Michelle. What an inspiring talk. Not only did you share the numbers for our tremendous growth that lies ahead in terms of the profession, but also for inspiring our graduates. And now we have another incredible speaker for you. And so I give you Monica Aguilar Alvarez. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Dr. Sandi, for having me here, for inviting me. Thank you very much. Dear families, friends, FMCA faculty, and all cohorts of class September 2024. Today, we are here as part of the community of FMCA to celebrate our achievements and our journey to become health coaches. I feel honored to graduate with people from all over the world who are committed to make a change in the wellness industry. Today's graduation marks the culmination of countless hours of coaching techniques, functional medicine principles, nutrition plans, mind and body medicine lessons, webinars with experts, LTSs, and coaching sessions. No one reaches this point alone. Today is not just a celebration of individual achievement, but a collective spirit that has carried us here, starting with our families who supported us lovingly and surely know a lot about coaching and functional medicine by now. The wonderful facilitators who guided our learning and gave us invaluable feedback, as well as compassionate words of our mentors who believed in us when we doubted ourselves. I was blessed to be in Christina Torrence's cohort. She created a safe, fun, and loving space for our growth and sharing. Thank you, Christina, for making it possible. The faculty, whose generosity and passion to share their knowledge challenged and inspired us to strive beyond what we thought possible. They truly showed a genuine interest in giving us as many tools as possible to help our clients. All the staff members and the team behind countless emails, notifications, updates, and answered questions who always kept us well informed of what was going on. Your work was the compass that guided us to our destination. Our cohorts, which power laid in its diversity, empathy, and the willingness of its members to lift each other up. We learned that even if the journeys appeared to be lonely, we had the support of each other to achieve our objectives. Together, we survived our PSDs and the dreaded PSA. Each of us was essential for the success of the others, and the character strengths that defined each of you elevated the experience as a whole. Thank you, ladies in my cohort, who enriched every LTS by opening your hearts, sharing your learnings, and making every Thursday a beautiful international and virtual space to look forward to. It was a warm feeling of being at home and simultaneously being all over the world. You will always remain in my heart. Of course, none of the above would have been possible without Dr. Sandra Scheinbaum. You are the perfect example of why it is so important to have a vision. You have your eyes set in a world where health coaches will be a fundamental piece in the wellness industry, not only in the United States, but internationally as well. And here we are, the September 2024 generation of FMCA coaches on our way to make that vision a reality. Dr. Sandi, attending your office hours has been among the highlights of the certification. It was not only an opportunity to learn more about coaching or functional medicine, but an opportunity to learn about your finesse at setting limits, your power of the power of your knowledge, the profound love of what you do, your patience to answer the same questions over and over, your proficiency at handling groups, and your compassion to see the needs of each and every participant. I thank you deeply for keeping in touch with us. I cannot go without saying that I love following you in Instagram, where we can witness that you walk the talk. Becoming an influencer at your 70s, seeing you in your day-to-day as a healthy and strong woman with her own successful international business makes me think that anything is possible at any time of life. Thank you for your inspiration. As we step into our journey as health coaches, some of us may know exactly where we are headed. Others may still be searching for direction. But life's greatest adventures often begin with uncertainty. We have the skills, we have the knowledge, and the world is full of people who need to be accompanied in their search for wellness. If we embrace each moment with a compassion mindset and a willingness to give ourselves to others, clients will come our way. Today is not the end, but the new beginning. Let us walk committed to making wellness possible for everyone. Congratulations, class of September 2024. Today, we celebrate the journey that has brought us here and the promise of all journeys yet to come. May our future be filled with endless possibilities. Thank you very much.
Wow, Monica, thank you so much for that beautiful talk. I know you've inspired our graduates. Thank you for the kind words about me. I appreciate it, although it's not about me, it's about all of you. You are going to go out and help so many people lead happier, healthier lives. So finally, we have one more speaker, and that is Helen Von Diegelen. So take it away. Is Helen with us?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Helen. Yeah,
Sorry about that. Okay.
no worries. Welcome,
Typical
Helen.
Zoom problems we've been experiencing. Yeah, part of the learning experience. Thank you, Dr. Sandi. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share my experience as an FMCA student and graduate today. So here goes. As FMCA students, we all know that after this training, open-ended questions have basically become our second language. So when I sat down to write the speech, my coach brain kicked in and asked the most obvious one. What's the story that brought me here? The answer led me back to a moment that changed everything. About 2 years ago, I started working with a health program guided by coaches that help clients implement an elimination and reintroduction plan to uncover food sensitivities. I had personally followed the plan, lost about 30 pounds, and experienced such a powerful shift in my own health that they invited me to join as a coach. I went through their certification, which covered the technical aspects of elimination and reintroduction in great detail. But here's what I quickly realized. Knowing the protocol is one thing. Coaching people through it is something entirely different. Many of my clients were already in the action phase, often motivated by a recent health scare or doctor's warning. But just as often, I'd meet people in the pre-contemplation or contemplation phase, which I learned about here, of course. Folks, who weren't ready to dive into a full elimination plan. And the truth is, the training I received didn't prepare me for that. It didn't teach me how to support someone who has a reflexive pushback against being told what to do. That's where FMCA's training came in, and it truly transformed the way I coach. From these classes, I've learned that coaching isn't about pushing, it's about keeping sessions client-centered, grounded in empathy, and meeting people where they are in their health journey. It's about helping them build confidence through small, meaningful changes. And when those small habits start to stick, clients naturally begin to take bigger steps. The coach approach, grounded in the OARS framework, has been a game changer for me by asking open-ended questions, offering affirmations that highlight clients' strengths and values, reflecting their own language and emotions, and using summaries to reinforce insights and progress. I've seen a powerful shift in the energy of my sessions. Clients feel heard, respected, and empowered. They're making progress not because they're being told what to do, but because they're choosing it for themselves, with compassion guiding the process every step of the way. One of my biggest aha moments came during LTS, when I realized how often I started sentences with "I think." Letting go of that habit helped me shift into a more client-centered mindset. I began starting reflections with "you," as in "you've such resilience," or "you're building momentum." That subtle change created deeper connection and clarity, and reminded me that this work is about empowering the client's voice, not mine. Another powerful tool I've gained from FMCA is the practice of visioning and creating SMART goals, helping clients connect with a compelling vision of their future, and then breaking that vision down into small, achievable steps has made habit change feel doable and even exciting. One small habit at a time, they begin to build momentum, and that momentum leads to real transformation. Even though my current role only allows for 4 coaching sessions per client, I found that it often takes that long just to help someone take this small action step. That's why I believe a 12-week approach would be so much more effective, or even 6 months. It gives people the time and space to grow into change. Since implementing these techniques, I've seen a noticeable shift. More of my clients are achieving their health goals with confidence. I've received heartfelt testimonials, referrals, and returning clients, which reinforces how powerful this approach truly is. I also want to highlight the incredible impact of group coaching after facilitating a session within our FMCA cohort. I was struck by the depth of connection and collective growth that emerged. Clients began to see that they weren't alone in their challenges, and the shared insights sparked meaningful breakthroughs. The sense of community and mutual support was powerful, something that's often difficult to achieve in one-on-one settings. I found the experience deeply rewarding and plan to make group coaching a core part of my future private practice. And while I've grown so much, I also recognize where I still want to deepen my skills. One area I'm actively working on is tying clients' strengths and values directly to their hesitations. I've seen how powerful it can be when a client realizes that the very qualities they already possess, like perseverance, creativity, or a deep love for family, can help them overcome what's holding them back. I want to get better at helping clients connect those dots in real time with empathy and compassion, so their resistance becomes a doorway to growth, not a barrier. Excuse me. Also, I want to express how much I appreciate our course coordinator, Christina Torrance. Her warm, insightful, and thoughtful guidance has been a steady light throughout this journey. She's made a lasting impact on me, and I'm so grateful, not just for her wisdom, but for the way she made this experience feel personal, grounded, and full of heart. And speaking of heart, I want to take a moment to honor my weekly Thursday cohort. I've learned so much from everyone's unique style, perspective, and spirit. The diversity of thought, the generosity of support, and the shared commitment to growth have shaped me in ways I'll carry forward forever. I have deep respect for each of you, not just as coaches, but as remarkable human beings. And it wasn't just professional growth. I've grown as a client too. Through your coaching, I've made real changes. I'm going to bed earlier, using breath work to manage stress, cut back on how much wine I drink at special events, and even challenging myself with tougher strength training classes at the gym. I also want to take a moment to thank the entire FMCA team, from Dr. Sandi, whose vision and leadership have shaped this incredible program, to every teacher, contributor, and behind the scenes supporter who poured their wisdom, energy, and compassion into our learning experience. Okay, I truly hope we all continue to stay connected, including my cohort and my teachers, not just to share wins and wisdom, but to keep growing together as coaches and as people. I'm so excited to see the amazing impactful careers each person on this journey will build. And someday, when the stars align, I hope we get to meet in person, maybe even in sunny Cancun, where Monica's already unofficially volunteered her backyard for beachside coaching retreats. I'm already picturing morning yoga, sunset meditations, and deep coaching conversations with sand between our toes and inspiration in the air. Looking ahead, my ideal role in the next year is to work alongside a functional medicine practitioner, collaborating as a team to guide patients within their practice towards lasting success. I envision a truly integrative model where coaching supports the clinical work, and together we help clients turn recommendations into real life transformation. FMCA hasn't just made me a better coach, it's reignited my passion for this work. I'm excited about what's ahead, and I can't wait to continue helping people transform their health, one empowered step at a time. Thank you so much, FMCA.
Whoa, thank you so, so much, Helen. You are just a rock star, and
Thank you.
I wish you lots and lots of luck. And I want to thank our speakers. I want to thank Dr. Johnny Bowden, and finally to all of you, your graduates. But our program is not over. We have something that is very special. So we are going to roll tape. We have a special video that has been prepared. So don't sign off yet. I hope that you will enjoy our video. Again, congratulations to our graduates. That video, I move to tears every time graduations when we share videos. And I want to acknowledge everybody who is watching on live stream, to friends and family, FMCA's supporters. We have a big mission, and I'm just thrilled to see the growth, not only of the health coaching profession, but also to be a witness to your personal and professional growth. We are here for you. So thank you so much. And once again, congratulations. If we were live in person, we would be throwing up our mortar boards and saying to everybody, congratulations.